I'm Shay, the oldest sibling.
And I'm Sage, the middle sibling, and that's Pogo. My cat. Stop it, dude. Jeez. My leather couches, he loves it. One of them has a whole side like hanging off of it. It's pretty great. I love my cat. Well, yeah, he's like the size of me. He's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh no. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, geez.
It's all true. Mm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's like sibling natural selection. Is that it's kind of what
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what I'm getting out of that. I mean, it makes sense
It does, yeah.
for sure.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hmm.
Mm.
not me. I am way too uptight. Mm. Mm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. In certain scenarios, that definitely fits.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Yeah. Wild. This psychology TikTok it's crazy.
Yeah.
It kind
Mm-hmm.
of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or I go
It
down the
like
rabbit
calls you
hole.
out.
Yeah, I go down the rabbit
Mm-hmm.
hole at the end of it. I'm like, well, according to this, I have schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder. I'm probably like all of these things are happening to me
Yeah.
because I agree. Exactly. Yeah. It's ridiculous. The ones that really hurt my feelings are the horoscope ones. Those like they're
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a Pisces and like we're just apparently super sensitive. Don't don't call me out, but it happens. So exactly, yeah.
What?
That's um that's all I get. And they really hurt your feelings sometimes because you're like, no, I didn't, but I do. Yeah. Mm. Hmm.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
According to the dust, yeah. According to the dust in space on this time when I was born, this is how I'm going to be.
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
A golden pig?
I feel like they're just making other things up now. Mm.
Oh.
Well,
Well, I'm an ox.
I think I'm like a rat. Either a rat or a snake, and I'm like, cool.
I
Thanks.
remember looking at this when we were when we were younger at
The
some Chinese
buffet.
restaurant.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I yeah. I think about that buffet a lot.
We
I
were just talking about that the other day.
I haven't been in years. Is there?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's still there.
It's still there,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. A full day. When do you open and when are you kicking us out? Yeah.
So good.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
I yes.
Oh my God.
Those I okay.
Yes.
So I worked at a frozen yogurt spot for a long time until they fired me for stealing yogurt. But it was cleaning those machines was not good. Like it was horrible. There's and you
Mm-mm.
it's so mechanical and you have to take all these things apart and you have to remember how to put them together. Like 22-year-old me completely hungover with like 2 hours of sleep should not be taking apart machines like that. Like but I did it for a long time. Oh yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that. Mm-hmm. No. It was so gross.
yes.
I mean, I feel like at this point we drank enough of it that was just kind of like part of our immune
We're just
system.
immune to it now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. People are worried about like the sugar and stuff in it. We're like, no, but like the mold that's in the lines. Like, it's fine. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I was,
Mm-hmm.
yes, almost everything was some kind of neon. Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Immune. Yeah. Hmm. Yep. I'm completely fine with that. Yeah. I was never able to get into the purple ketchup. Okay, do you
Mm-mm.
remember like the school ketchup that they would give you like on the tray already?
Mm-mm.
It so it was like and it was like thick and then there was like water around it. It was that
Ugh.
flavor of yeah, it was that flavor of ketchup that just like congealed. It was gross. That's
Bleh.
yeah. I yeah.
Your in-laws.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Oh my god.
I don't, yeah, I get it. I don't like the smell either. That's like dad. He puts it all over his pizza.
Pizza. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
gross.
I see I used to do that for those like Tostino pizzas. because it makes it so much better. Because those Totino's pizzas
No,
are horrible.
ma'am.
I asked for ketchup the other day, and one of my friends was like, "You need to grow up," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Ketchup, really? Like you pass over mustard and barbecue sauce and like all of this
Mustard's
other stuff
gross.
and for ketchup?" And I'm like, "I mean, yeah, ketchup."
Hmm.
I don't. It was like fries, probably. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
See, I used to like only eat ranch, and now I just can't. It's just not my thing. Yeah. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah. Welcome. And we're probably about to tell some kind of like really horrific story. Right. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like, hello, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm, I'm
Yeah.
sure. You never know. Hmm. I was like the rapper. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Mm.
Mm. Right.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. Every time.
Mhm.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Right. Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mm.
Maybe he's just super passionate about workouts. You never know.
No.
Uh-uh. Mm. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Oh my god. No. Mm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As it should, yeah.
Right. Mm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm. Hmm. Gee.
Oh my God.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She said physical and then winked. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Not how you do
Hmm.
it. Mm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
that is weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I do the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh no.
Damn. Hmm. It's not Sean Paul.
Sean?
Paul.
Just Paul. Okay.
Mm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Hmm. Oh my God. Okay.
Mm. I'd have been like,
Zero. That was
Listen, Dick Tracy.
so, but she's not in charge of finances. So she has to ask Sean Paul for this money.
Hmm.
And she's totally nervous. She's like, I had never lied to him before about anything.
Mm.
And now I have to ask him for $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like terrified. And they're sitting at dinner and she's like, hey, do you think my friend, she needs a surgery and she needs help. She needs like $1,500. Do you think that we can give it to her to help her with the surgery?
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, of course, sure. And writes her a check for $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, first of all, that's actually kind of sweet that he was just like, sure, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I would be asking way more questions and just
Mm-hmm.
sure,
Right.
right? I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe I'm more weird about my money than he was, but I would be asking so many questions. Anyway, so he gives her the money. That night, she waits for him to fall asleep and she gets his wallet to get his social security card. And she pulls out 2 social security cards. And she's like, this is weird.
Hmm.
And writes down both phone numbers. They're not phone numbers, they're social security numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
She writes down both of those numbers. And then, so this is now the beginning of March of 1988. So just keep in
Okay.
mind, so like a timeline.
Mhm.
This is the beginning of March. She meets a private investigator And he's like really confused why he has two social security numbers. He's like, that's not even normal for me. That's weird.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need a copy of all of these documents that you were talking about, like the daughter's state, or weird looking deaths or whatever, and all of his parent and siblings' paperwork and stuff. He's like, if you can copy it, or at least just take a picture of them and then give me the pictures so I can look into all this. The next day, the private investigator calls her and is like, hey, so both of those social security numbers belong to dead people.
Damn.
Oh.
And instead of calling the police and being like, hey, I'm 98% sure that I saw my husband on America's Most Wanted, and also his social security numbers belong to dead people. She's like, I need evidence. Okay. Which
Oh
again,
my
I get.
God.
Like, that's your husband. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I trust my husband probably more than I probably should.
Mm.
So I feel like if someone came to me and was like, your husband murdered people, I'd be like, you are a literal moron because you get no.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to be sympathetic to the thought of this.
Right.
But also, I'm like, you were terrified of him at one point.
Yeah.
A couple
And now
times. Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, let me just double check before I'm wrong. So she's thinking, like, I think something's up here. I do think he's done something, but I genuinely don't think he murdered anybody. Which I'm like, fair.
Yeah.
So whatever. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna ask Sean Paul about the social security number. She doesn't say like, I hired a private investigator. She's actually very smart about it. She's like, hey, so your work called and they needed your social security number. And so I went to go grab it out of your wallet. Why do you have to do social security card? And he's like, oh, well, usually I carry my son's around with me and I forgot to give it back to him.
What son?
What son?
Yeah.
And how do you know him well enough to have his social security card and just forget to give it back? Like,
right.
Enough to. Okay. And also, he's got to be adult enough to like hand you his social security card and you forget to give it back to him. And he obviously doesn't live with you. So, whatever. Anyway.
Getting his families mixed up.
He gets pissed after this. And he's like, stop fucking asking me about my documents. Stop looking into my stuff. I don't want to hear anything else about any of this. And he takes all of his documents and locks them up in a briefcase. And she's like, okay, something's going on.
Yeah.
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 And then the next day, she went out shopping and she came home to see the girls. And they're not home. And she's like, this is weird. They're always home. And if they do go to a friend's house or whatever, they always ask permission first. They would never just go somewhere without me knowing. So she calls Sean Paul at work and she's like, do you know where the girls are? And he goes, yeah, they're fine. They're playing. Don't worry about it. And she's like, tell me where the girls are.
Yeah.
And he said, don't worry about it. This is what happens when you start asking too many questions. And then hang them. And so obviously she's like terrified all day. She's trying to figure out where the girls are. And then he comes home from work and she's like, where are the girls? And he's like, they're fine. Stop worrying. Excuse you? So just a little bit later, all three of the girls walk into the house. And she just immediately starts crying and hugging them. And she's like, I thought they were dead. I thought all three of them were dead.
Oh my God.
And she tells them, or the girls tell them, they're like, yeah, two of the guys that work with Sean Paul at the restaurant, which they all know, like, they know these guys. They're not like strangers.
Mm-hmm.
They had showed up at the house and wanted to take us to the amusement park, and we talked to Sean Paul, and Sean Paul said that you knew and that you were okay with it. So that's why they weren't like calling her and being like, hey, we're going, because they assumed that everybody already knew where they were at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd be like, I don't want two dudes I don't know taking my 3-year-old to the amusement park. Like, I would have had a problem with
No.
that. So that night, she's like, okay, that was too much. And she's like, I'm going to get this fucking documents out of the briefcase. I'm going to take a picture of them, and I'm going to send them to the private investigator. So she said she knew the passcode to get into it because she would sit and watch him every time he'd open it, so that way she would learn it.
Yeah.
And so she opened it, took pictures of everything, closed everything up, and then put it back where she kept it. And then sent them over to the PI. That following weekend, so that next weekend, it was all 3 of the girls were at their dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
And Margie, like, I have never faked anything like I have faked being happy in that marriage that weekend.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
it was so scary. But I did not want him thinking that I was investigating him or that I thought anything was weird or anything. And she was like, he knew something was going on because she would catch him multiple times and just staring at her. Like, he looked like, I know you're up to something.
Yeah.
And then, so that night she went to bed a little bit early, and he came to bed, and she was like, I don't feel good. Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't feel good. And so he leaves and comes back with a pill, and he's like, hey, take this. It'll make you feel better.
No, ma'am.
She keeps refusing to take it. She's like, I'm not taking it. I don't want to take it. Quit giving it to me. And he is like, take the pill. Take it. Take the pill. And finally, she's like, okay. And so she took the pill. And just a little bit later, she just starts puking profusely. And she's like, I was so sick. I was like deathly ill. And he came into the bathroom, and he was like, she said that he was so nice and so gentle with her. And he picked her up and put her in the bed to lay her down. And she's like, the next thing I knew, I'm like blacking out. She's like, I can remember certain little things, or maybe like a light had shined in my eye, or she's like, I very vividly remember him on top of me. She's like, for the most part, I don't remember anything that happened.
Yeah.
But she woke up in the morning, and she had obviously been raped and was completely covered in bruises.
No.
She walks downstairs and finds his glass of orange juice. She said he drank orange juice every morning, and she found it sitting on the counter. And he was gone. Like, he had drank it and just left. And she remembered from a TV show that you can get fingerprints off of glass. So she takes her rubber gloves that she uses for cleaning the dishes. She picks it up, puts it in a plastic bag, and goes straight to the Salt Lake City Police Department.
Smart.
And yeah, because I would have been like, oh my God, I was just raped. Like, my brain would not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this girl, I'm like, she is so smart, because I would have been like, look, got 2 social security cards. Like, I would have thought to,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Anyway, so she gets to the police department, and she's like, hey, y'all, here's everything. He's got 2 social security cards. He looks really familiar to this guy. He drugged me. He raped me. All of these things. And she's like, here's this glass that he drank out of this morning. Do what you need. They were able to get fingerprints off of it, and they did match Paul Stephen Mack from the TV show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he informs her that he was wanted for murder. He had killed his 19-year-old secretary and strangled her and left her floating in a river. They didn't have enough evidence to convict him. But then there was another young girl that he had poisoned and raped and left her in the back of her car in a parking lot and fled. And that's when he ended up in Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And they told her, they were like, look, you need to get you and the girls and you need to leave. Because they had to get like a team together. They had to get an arrest warrant, everything.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're not going to be able to get all this until the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you go home, we can't arrest him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't. I have to go because he's already suspicious. If I don't show up at home, he's gonna flee again.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna come back and murder me and my kid. She's like, I have to go home. And so she does.
Oh my God.
And she said that she just sat in a chair and waited for him to get home to work from work. She was like, what was I supposed to do? I couldn't.
Yeah.
I am like, that is the bravest woman I have ever met.
Mhm.
I knew I was going into a house with a murderer. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think that I have that in me. But she went home. She made sure that her girls were gone. They were going to be gone the whole night. And she acted normal. She went to bed early. At one point, he walked into the bedroom and just stared at her for a while. And then he went to bed, and she said she didn't sleep at all that night. She was up the whole night.
Yeah.
She said that they did have like a whole conversation, but she's like, I don't remember any of it. She's like, all I could remember was stay alive. They're coming in the morning. Like, you have to do this. So, on March 23rd at 5:55 a.m., the police show up. And Sean Paul looks outside, sees the police, hurries and puts some clothes on, and then jumps out the bathroom window.
Jesus.
Gets in his car and then like, and she's sitting at home like, oh my God, hopefully they catch him. It's like a whole ass car chase, okay? And she's like freaking out, like, oh my God. And then they were able to trap him and they arrested him and they called her and we're like, hey, we got him. He's been arrested. And she was like, it was the first time I was able to take his breath.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
The girls came home that night and she told them everything that happened. You know, that he had, you know, he wasn't who he said he was. He got arrested for murder. He was in jail and they were safe and didn't even worry about it. Which I'm like, maybe it's just like me being like not wanting to traumatize my kids. I don't know that I could have just told them that. Like, I would have.
No.
What do
I
you
don't know what I
tell them
would've
at
said.
that point?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Because you don't
Yeah.
want to traumatize them that they got abandoned, you know, and be like, they just left.
Yeah.
But you also are like, I don't want them to know that they had potentially loved this stepdad that was a murderer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's such a weird thing. So she gets with her lawyer, of course, to like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Because I'm technically married to this man and he's not even a real person. Like, Sean Paul is not a real person. And he informs her, he took all of your money. You have nothing. You have absolutely nothing.
Oh my God.
And she's like, oh, okay. Like, she owns the house. She owned a business, a cleaning business. Like, that was all hers. And everything that she used to take care of her kid. So she's like, well, here we go. She's like slowly putting her life back together. And she gets a phone call one day. And it's fucking Paul Stevenson Matt or whatever the hell.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this is all a lie. I'm innocent. Like, don't believe anything that you read. And he's like, I really want to come back with you and the girls. And she's like, that is absolutely not happening. You are not coming back here.
Mm-mm.
And he was like, I will come visit you at least one more time. And she was like, what do you mean one more? Like, she's not telling him this, like she's thinking it in her head. She's like, what do you mean one more time? Like, one more time to kill me, and then you won't have to come back. And anyway, so she hangs up the phone, and she's like, he just kept calling back and calling and calling and calling. It didn't stop. She ends up going to his trial. She was like, I had to know he got convicted. I had to be there. I had to see it. Like, I could not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he would have gotten out, like, I would have been terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously. So she goes to him, she watches him. He ends up getting convicted of first-degree murder and rape, and is sentenced to 27 to life. Marjorie said she needed closure, and it was more than closure, but she needed to, like, be in his face and tell him, like, you did not ruin me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she said she went to go visit him, and she, looked him in the eye and was like, I know who you are now. I know what you did. You were proven guilty, and you will leave me in my love.
Mm.
And he's like, no, I will come see you one more time. And then she was like, good luck with that, and then left.
Jeez.
And then she said that morning after she had went to visit him, her girls made her breakfast in bed, and they just spent the whole day in bed. And she was like, it was finally just a happy house again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that.
I would have moved. I wouldn't have been able to live
Right.
there.
I wouldn't. Well, she did say the day he got arrested, like when they found him and she called, she immediately went into her bed and grabbed all of the sheets and pillows and everything off the bed, and then, like, went into the shower, and she was like, I scrubbed my skin raw.
Mm.
She was like, I just wanted him nowhere on me or in my house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I couldn't imagine that.
Mm-mm.
Jeez.
Just the fact that he knows her phone number, he knows that where the house is, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone.
Like,
And it's the
God
late
forbid he, like,
80s.
escaped,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's the bravest woman fucking ever.
Literally. Wow.
Because I would have been so scared.
Yeah.
So
Same.
scared. I don't think I would have gone back to, like, I would have.
No.
No.
I would have.
No.
I would have been like, my sister is so sad, and
Yeah.
sleepover. Like, I'm gonna go. To
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would have made up some bullshit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I could have done that. But she was just
That's
worried
so
about her girls. She
wild
was
to
like,
me.
if I do not go home, he's gonna know something's going on, and he will run away. And then, what if he comes back and kills my kids? It's like,
That's true. Yeah, she's right. Wow. Golly.
That's why, like, I'm kind of glad that things are the way that they are now. Like, you can vet people a lot better, but still, there's ways to, like, get around that shit. But it's not as common as it was back then.
yeah.
Right.
I know. And that's literally the whole time I was, like, listening to her talk, and I'm just thinking, and I'm like, that is so nuts. That, like, I mean, obviously,
She couldn't just Google
it was the
him.
80s. I'm like,
Yeah.
you couldn't
Yeah.
just look him up. Like, you just had to believe what you said. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't
Mm-mm.
Facebook them or, like,
Mm-hmm.
find their ex-girlfriend on Instagram and be like,
Exactly.
Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do any of that.
Mm-mm.
You just had to take what they said and
It's crazy.
believe it.
The fact that she was able to, like, still keep that up while the PI was, like, going through everything is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Mhm. And I
Jeez.
wouldn't have thought to look so closely at a death certificate. Like, I
Mm-mm.
wouldn't have been like, let me check the date, make sure the dates. Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought to do that. Like, I would have looked through the documents or something, like, just to see, like, maybe something was weird. But I would have been more worried about, like, his name saying Paul instead
Yeah.
of saying Mac, as opposed to
Right.
saying Sean Paul. Whatever.
Right.
And it's super smart that she thought about taking the glass in the first place, because she's like, no one knows who this dude actually is, so we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so smart.
Mhm.
And that was like early in the development of that kind of stuff. So I feel like she had to know somehow. That's
Yeah. She said she learned it from TV, that she had watched it on TV, that
Mm,
you could get fingerprints off of the glass.
yeah.
Because that
That's-
was
Don't
my
mess with the
dad's-
mom, man.
No.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, listen, I watched on SCU that y'all bitches can get this. So
Yes.
I'm giving it to you. I'm not even letting you, like,
Mhm.
you're fucking going to do it. And they're going to be like, it doesn't work that way. I'm going to be like, they can do it on fucking CNN. Your bitch asses can do it.
Mariska
in real life,
Hargitay did
okay?
it, so I need you to figure it out. Mariska Hargitay and Ice Cube, they figured it out, so I need you
Ice
to.
Cube, yeah. You did it.
Oh,
Ice Cube can do it. Anybody can do it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
that's true.
Oh,
Well, dang, that's a good job. Good one.
That's terrifying.
Very much so.
Well, I'm like, that was your husband.
Yes,
Like,
fully married to him,
fully married.
Yeah.
intertwined. That doesn't.
That
Oh my god.
and the
And-
whole time too, I'm thinking you must not have known him very well.
Yeah.
I'm like, you literally dated the man for at least a year before they got married. Like, the timeline was a little weird, but like, they dated for at least a year before
Yeah.
they got married. So I'm like, you had to know
Mhm.
him for a whole year. It's not like
He
you
was
didn't know
just that
anything about
good
him.
at
Yeah.
pretending and being the nice guy and doing all the good things that.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
dude.
that's what
So
she was worried about with, and even the prosecutor, they were really, really worried because he was very charismatic
mhm.
and very, like, well spoken,
Yeah.
that he was going to talk himself out of getting convicted.
Mhm.
Like, he was going to convince that jury that he did not do it, and thank
Yeah.
God they didn't get through it. That would have been horrible.
Ugh. It just reminds me of like Prison Break. Did you ever watch that? The guy that like his hand cut off, and he was like terrorizing that family, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna come see you," and he does, and he just shows up, crazy. I just
Yeah, I know the whole thing. I can't. It's so scary.
like, how do you not live in fear after that?
Right? Like, I would never want to date
Anybody.
Like, I wouldn't. I would
No.
never date.
No.
Because I would be like, I can't trust anybody.
So I would absolutely have left.
Jeez. Dang.
Thank God
Oh.
she didn't die. And honestly, he dated her for a whole year and didn't hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, either he hurt other people that maybe they didn't find out about yet, or he eventually would. I mean, he eventually would have. And I'm worried that he was waiting because her girls were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And like, since he had killed two like 19-year-olds,
Yes.
I'm wondering if he was just waiting for them to get old enough.
Yeah.
True.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, and like you said, what else was he doing during this time? Like, he has to be able to get that out somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But I'm like, if he had those pills,
Mm-hmm.
he just had that readily available.
He just had it,
or
yeah.
maybe he was drugging and raping people for his whatever. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Either way, it's not good.
It's gross.
That would send me into like, I would never be able to trust anything ever again.
Mm-mm.
And the fact that she was just able to be a family again right after that, it's Wild.
She too. She's like when she was telling the story about uh, like you could just tell how guilty she felt. Like she
Yeah.
felt bad
Yeah.
that she trusted him again because she's telling, she was like, he convinced me that there was nothing wrong. Like the second time when they were talking on the phone, she was like, I had no fear for him anymore. And then she immediately started crying and she was like, he convinced me to go back out.
Yeah.
And she just started she couldn't believe herself that she let him convince her. And I'm like, that's deceitful.
That's what they do.
Think that it's not your fault. Like
right.
They're tricking you. They're manipulating you. It's not your fault.
Yeah. Dang.
Adorable. I hated it.
Oh, I hate everybody.
I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Especially Sean Pauls.
Yeah.
I have Shonda Paul stuck in my head the entire time.
What's the
Thank
other one? Where he says his name in every song? DJ
Oh,
Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
Oh,
yeah.
I was thinking Jason Derulo.
Oh, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Him too.
Should we make a band and then we all say our name?
Yes.
No, we're not
Once
gonna do that.
in every single song.
Yeah. We'll just do it. I guess we do it in here. I'm Storm.
Yeah. We don't need the band.
Can we sing it? I'm Storm, the youngest sibling. Oh, Lord.
We all have to start singing our theme song.
I'm a horrible boy. Oh, Lord.
All right. Well, Storm, if they want to find some more of us, would they find it?
We are on Facebook, Three Siblings Walk to a Bar. We are on Instagram at Three Split Podcast. Go on there, like, comment, do all the things. Also, please rate and review. It's super helpful for us. YouTube, we are on YouTube. You can watch us on there. Also, comment, like, all the things. And yeah.
All right. Well, that's what happens when three siblings walk into a bar.